shit.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Sideline Summit. I'm Antonio Perez, joined as always by Danny Code, DC UPenn's finest, and Chris Coacher, CB Coacher Boy. It is officially Wildcard weekend. The regular season is over. So it's all a thing in the past. We're going to be giving our NFC Wildcard, AFC Wildcard predictions. Of course, we're going to do NBA Weekly. We always got to give you some NBA content. And then Summit's Plummets, of course. We're going to kick it off that way. But yeah, just to let you know, before we get the episode started, we appreciate all the love you guys have been giving on social media. Keep liking, keep subscribing. Follow us at Sideline Summit on every single platform: Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all of that. Just keep showing love. We really appreciate it. This is a little overdue. We had 200 subs a couple weeks back, so we really appreciate y'all for that. But yeah, enough of this yap session. We can get right into Summit's Plummets. Danny, did you want to get us kicked off?
Yeah, Summits is the Pittsburgh Steelers are in the playoffs for the first time since Big Ben's retirement. It's a new era. And guess what? Big Ben's original replacement will be the starter. So that is a great summit to start my year off.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Though that actually gives weird comparison, I guess, to say when Nick Foles took back over for Carson Wentz, it was like, oh, Nick Foles was supposed to do this in the first place, but like not like this, not with our other franchise guy getting hurt. Super weird. But
you know what? Mason Rudolph is going on his Nick Foles run.
Boy, if you don't stop. There's a difference between just flat out replacing a bum and, just coming in because your franchise QB is hurt and your franchise quarterback being good too. But yeah, you can go for the plummet.
Kenny Pickett was hurt, so
stop. Get the fuck out of here. That dude's a bum.
He's so bad. I don't really have a plummet of the week.
All right, then we can just go right to Chris then.
My plummet. I found one. Cutter Gauthier. Yeah, he got the fuck out of Philly. Because we don't play around with that attitude in Philly. You don't want to be here, you're gone.
You employ Joel Embiid, dude.
What
do you mean you don't take that attitude around here? A dude who started blaming everyone but himself after he dropped 15 points in a playoff game? Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Philly 100% allows that around here. Their fucking football team is 1-5 in their last 6 games. They 100% allow things around here. Their $1 bajillion baseball lineup disappeared after going up 2-0 in the championship series. I promise, man. They allow it around here.
Is this like a year of stress built up?
No, I'm just calling it how it is. Just calling it how it is. Sad sack of shit, Sports City.
Best fans, though.
Debatable. Depends what best is. Like, best as in, like, they act like Canadians and they're nice, or passionate, because Cleveland sports fans are up there. To hang in as long as they have, man, shout out to them. Pittsburgh sports fans, a little delusional, but, I don't think I've ever met, like, a Steelers fan who's, like, a something else fan. Like, there's you, but, like, that's just... I'm pretty sure if, like, the Steelers... Oh, well, you're not a Pirates fan. Never mind. I have met one. I lied.
I mean, here's the thing. If we had a basketball team in Pittsburgh, I'd be a fan of that.
But what happened with baseball?
Baseball, I grew up closer to with my dad.
I was about to say closer to Boston. I'm like,
My dad was a Red Sox fan growing up, and then I always went to Phillies games, so that's how we got the Philly Delco shirt on.
That's how that happened. The butterfly effect and whatnot. All right. Chris, Summits and Plummets.
Well, plummet, real quick and easy. Doesn't take long. Plummet is that the team I root for, because LeBron James on it, still employs Darvin Ham and Rui Hachimura at the same time. So nothing good's happening. So that is a plummet, because until that's fixed, the team won't be fixed, because those two are not good at what they're supposed to be good at. That's my plummet. And my summit has to do with what I have on today. My boy 8 Ball Jackson.
Jersey.
My boy 8 Ball He has done what I asked him to do on this very show, this greatly produced show, Three Handsome Males. This show, I said,
Boy, you got it. You got time out. First of all, you got Chris get his hair done daily, sharp beard. Give him whatever rating you want. I'm a calm 6 on a haircut day. So let's not put out any false advertisements. And then Danny can speak for himself.
Cap,
I don't
call
know.
Cap.
Anyway, let's get back to the point. Let's get back to the point. My bad.
So that's what I said on this show. If my boy A can make it through that 2 weeks of Dolphins and 49ers games, that would be his MVP case. And my boy made it through, played really great. So that's still my plum. I think that was I'm not plum, my summit. That's still my summit. I think my summit was really similar last week. I'm just really happy. I'm happy for this team. I'm happy for what's about to happen. I haven't got to buy, get some rest too. So that was cool. So I like seeing everything play out and seeing that we kind of got what we were looking for as a team was pretty good. So that's my summit.
Yeah, I mean, Plummet, bad football team. Eagles are a bad football team. Very, very bad football team.
How bad, may I ask?
How bad?
Give it an NBA comparison in the last 10 years.
Dude, I don't know.
Charlotte Bobcat bad?
I'm about to say Michael Kidd Gilchrist Bobcats.
That wasn't 10 years ago, fam.
I feel like
You're losing track of reality.
How long ago was it?
You need to go to a mental hospital. You are losing shape on reality. How bad? 2017 1 seed Celtics bad. That's how bad they are. Frauds, one would say.
But they lost to LeBron, right?
Yeah, they should have lost to Rajon Rondo, but they got lucky. So what's going to happen is Baker's that ankle is going to be bothering him. We're going to barely escape the Bucks. We're going to go into San Fran. Well,
get there.
If the Rams win, we're going to Dallas. Regardless, getting packed in that second round. It's so unreal. But
Jake Ferguson 100 plus yards.
Oh, I'll be there for that. Four 25-yard seam passes. Dak's not missing on those 100%.
Well, who's guarding it? Nicholas
Shaq
Morrow?
Leonard. Shaq Leonard will be guarding Jake Ferguson. So, welcome to my world. Can't believe people were hyped for that signing. I was like, at least he's a better tackler than like what we have. No, Zach Cunningham is 100% better than him. So I don't know, man. And Nakobe Dean's just never healthy. So
I hope what Chad Ochocinco said is correct.
Boy, it's Chad Ochocinco. I doubt that.
Yo, Chad was sitting there smoking the pack in the car. Was like, the Eagles are playing possum.
They're not playing possum, dog. They just got their butts whooped by the Giants. That's not possum, man. Look, all right, getting beat by the Niners and Cowboys is one thing. But the other 3 losses, horrendous. Jets, Cardinals, Seahawks. That's just bad, man. That's just horrible.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah. But I would say we can get to NBA Weekly. Because I have no summit, to be quite honest with you. So
wow,
we can just get to NBA Weekly. I kind of wanted to talk about potential trade rumors that we've been hearing a lot. The big one that's been going around this morning is that, according to Shams, the San Antonio Spurs are interested in DeJounte Murray. I want to swing it to Chris because I wanted to talk about it from like a GM standpoint that everyone's been talking about, but I wanted to see Chris's mind on how would DeJounte fit. What can DeJounte do for Wemby is basically what I'm asking.
What, they got to bring back Derek White too?
2 things.
No.
2 things. He can do what Trey Jones could be doing if Pop didn't hate him and what he tried to get Jeremy Sohan to do. So he can be a bigger guard. I know Sohan's 6'10", not that big, but he can be a bigger guard that can facilitate, kind of get his own shot, and also can get the ball off the board and go. So that way, when you see Wemby running the lane as well as he does and as often as he does, he'll get hit with some of those passes so that 18 points can go up to 24 easy. It'll help Wemby's the easier part. So outside of that, and then as a GM too, DeJounte's paid already again. Like he's on an extension now. So like if you trade for him now, you're the Spurs. You're not necessarily a hotbed for free agents. I mean, you have Wemby now, but you're not necessarily a hotbed. So you have two guys that's under extensions in Vassell and Murray, and I think Keldon Johnson's on extension too. So you kind of have like your quote unquote young core kind of sewn up, and I think you just can kind of go from there. So I think as a GM, it makes sense. And then on top of that, like you kind of like can finesse the system because you got all those picks for DeJounte Murray. Some of them you turn into players already. If you're able to get him back, I'm probably sure you have to give up some type of assets, but it's kind of like you really didn't lose much in that sense, I guess. So I guess from a GM standpoint, I think it just makes sense to get a bigger guard that's actually going to be able to facilitate. Not saying the guards that they have now can't, they just don't. And Murray's proven to be a person who can facilitate on the team is not as good. So I think it'd be a win-win for both sides, in my opinion.
No,
yeah, what is the future state of the NBA? What I'm thinking is there's going to be a lineup of like 5, 6'8", 6 to 6'10" players. There's going to be 10 Ben Simmons on the roster.
If you look at EuroLeague, it's already kind of like that. It's like the guards over there, like 6'5" and up, and everybody's like 6'5" to 6'11", but it's literally from position to position. So I think the NBA is going to it because I mean, if you got versatile guys, you good.
But Becky was torn to shred by Knicks fans because she said 6'1" Jalen Brunson cannot be the best player on a championship team.
They don't know ball.
And quite to be real, I don't even know if we'll ever see that again. Like, first of all, because you're not duplicating Steph Curry, you'll never see it again. You'll never see someone who is so efficient with the long ball that it makes up for any deficiencies that they possibly have. And you'll never see someone with just that much gravity as a shooter. So, but back to DeJounte Murray potentially being. Go ahead.
The only good young south of Virginia, Trae Young, may rival Steph Curry as being a short, good guard that could.
Yeah, he's not. Trae Young cannot be the best player on a championship team. Yeah, that's just my opinion. But yeah, Danny, I would say I was swinging to you, ask you about because you mentioned Philly maybe getting Murray. What did you think about that?
Yeah, I've seen some rumors about Philly getting Murray. I kind of like adding a more wing player, like a wing shooter, like Kennard if he's on the block, or someone who can just shoot. Maybe try to go get Duncan Robinson. He's on a big contract. You offloaded money. Go get someone who can shoot. Let Maxey and Embiid kick out. Because right now, I can't go into the playoffs with Pat Bev as a wing scorer. Because sometimes when Maxey's out, Pat Bev is running the offense. And you can see Pat Bev is giving people 15 sometimes. What is Pat Bev doing in 2024? Is he still real?
He said they were talking about on his show, like, oh, do you think you'll get traded? He'll be like, Philly would go crazy if they traded me. I'm like, no, not really. Like, I don't think they'd really care that much. They're probably actually looking to move off of you, to be quite honest. But yeah, I would agree. Definitely, I think wing help would be the better option for Philly at least. But for the Spurs in general, the trade deadline, you have the solution on your roster, but if not, if you did want to go trade for something, go trade for like a high end point guard. Because it will speed up Wemby's development very much. And then, again, you're at the deep end. You're going to be in top 3-4 odds for the first pick again anyways. So then you got those Hawks picks as well. So, yeah, like I could see things working out if the Spurs wanted to make a move like that. Another move that's just Pascal Siakam. Where will he go? A lot of people tied him to the Warriors. Chris, I was just going to ask you, like, where do you see Pascal maybe going?
Future Laker for real.
Oh yeah, peace keep him far away. I think it's a couple teams that I can see Pascal fitting at, and I think the real big problem with Pascal, and it's been this way since he's been like on the trading block. Nope, like he isn't going to commit to re-signing, so that's been the problem. But the team I would like to see Pascal go to is the Kings. Is the team that was trying to get him is the Kings or the Mavericks. Those would be two teams I think would be great for Pascal Siakam. For the simple fact that the Kings play up and down, Pascal's a power forward, but he's really more of a swing. So him being able to get it up and down the court and being able to run and actually like get the ball off the board sometimes and push, and you have a playmaking center in Sabonis, I think it would just work out really well for them. And it gives them another scoring threat outside of like Fox and Malik Monk, because Sabonis isn't a real scoring threat. No hate, no shade to him. He's a good player, but he's not a real scoring threat. So I think that helps them a lot. And I think for my reasoning for the Mavs, I think he's literally the missing piece for them. They have a Grant Williams, they have Derek Jones, but they don't have a person combined. They have a Cleaver. They don't have a person that can do all those things at the same time. You have to sub one to be able to do so. I think Pascal solves a lot of problems. Solves the scoring problem. He defends pretty well. He's a taller guy, so you can play him, at that power forward with Lively. I think it just gives you another look, especially when you have a smaller two guard in Kyrie Irving. Well, technically two guard in Kyrie Irving. So yeah, those two teams. I think I would say the Mavs and the Kings.
You know where
I would love to see him in Dallas. Yeah, go ahead.
I haven't heard anyone talk about this. The Oklahoma City Thunder.
It depends how much they would have to give up, but he'd be a really nice veteran piece for them.
Too, Danny.
Would still prefer him. That's still a good one. Like, being that playmaker, I just don't want him taking touches from mainly. He's not taking touches from Shea. You don't have to worry about that. I don't want him taking touches from Chet. I don't want him stunting his growth. I don't want him taking touches from
Giddey.
No, he can take touches from Giddey. Send Giddey. He's a two-way liability. I've never seen anything like it. But he can take that playmaking role that you're gonna ship, the Predator for, and then he's a great defender. He can impact the game essentially without taking scoring opportunities. And the third one I didn't want him taking scoring opportunities from was Jalen Williams, because if this kid's gonna be a star in the making, I mean, he's got all the goods. He's a two-way. He can score, he can defend. Chet can protect the rim, can shoot, can get to the basket, can create off the dribble as a 7-footer, which is slowly but surely, just normal, but like you need that. And then of course SGA is one of the 10 best basketball players in the league. Little probably closer to 5 than 10. Yeah, but
I have one more too, Tone, for you.
Yeah,
one
go
more. So
go
Danny said the other one. It's one more team, and you may look at me crazy when I say this, but there's a reason behind it. The Clippers. The Clippers could use Pascal Siakam, and I think it'd be like, you just add another star. I think they need a real 4, because you can get away with Kawhi and PG like sharing those power forward minutes, but in the playoffs, you put more wear and tear on their body in that sense. And I think with you having guys like a Norman Powell, Terrence Mann, Bones Hyland, like all the guys you necessarily don't give a lot of minutes to, if the Clippers had more trade assets as far as picks go, I think they'd be easy able to make that type of trade. But the problem is, they don't have the assets to give up without giving up Norman Powell, Terrence Mann, blah, blah. I don't think you want to do that to gut the bench. But I would really think Pascal could help them a lot, just being an actual 4. So you don't have to have PG and Kawhi play all those minutes at the 4, because it's going to be taxing. You don't want to put PJ Tucker anywhere near a basketball game today. So I think you will want to try to get Pascal.
Yeah, I would like that one as well. And again, like if you were to send him over there, he's not here to take touches. He's not here to, take more shots. Essentially, he's their playmaking role, real 4, which I like how you said that, because to put it plain and simple, Zubac and Tice isn't the best big situation. So if you had a really good defending 4, even a guy who can play some small ball 5, like we talked about last week with our small ball, like you could play him in a small ball lineup as the 4 and make Russ your 5. And Russ can be your lob threat while Pascal can pace the floor, create off the dribble. Like it would just be a dream scenario. And look, Pascal hasn't, necessarily, been up to his par this season on the bad Raptors team. But I think the Raptors, look, just ship off Pascal. Say, look, even if we're not going to resign you. So make the agreement that you'll sign with another team. And we're going to trade you, because they clearly going in a different direction. You don't trade for IQ to not pay him. So they're probably going to pay him. You already got Barrett's contract. So yeah, I just think the Raptors.
Scotty's coming up to get paid soon.
You already sent off OG, send off Siakam, send off anybody that.
And Trent too. Trent's got to go.
Gary Trent, yeah, let him be like.
In the Warriors.
I don't know, a solid role player on another team, I guess.
On the Lakers, Trent and Denny for Rui Hachimura.
Sorry. Rui, they have. They have this
Yo.
weird thing for those wings that can defend.
But Rui Hashimura is one of the worst defenders. He's a solid rebounder. He can't shoot threes for real, and his mid-range.
What happened? Because I'm pretty. Didn't he used to be a good defender, right? Like I'm not imagining
in
that.
Washington
right?
where nobody else played defense, so he tricked people. He made you
Oh,
think he was guarding because
You
nobody
know how
else was
bad that
guarding.
is. Hmm.
He tricked you.
All right.
And then he had that one series where he made 7 mid-range jumpers over 4 games, and everybody thought he was fucking Kawhi Leonard again. And it's like, bro,
Kawhi comparisons will never go well. As basic of a player that is to replicate, it's just not going to happen.
Nope.
Yeah, my bad, Danny. My bad.
Interesting spot for Pascal Siakam is the Indiana Pacers. I think in a team that plays fast offense, he can space the floor and bring a defensive threat to that team and kind of propel them to the top 5 in the East.
My same reason for the Kings. They're the Eastern Conference Kings, in my opinion. Type of thing. Same reason.
Yeah, the high offense, bad defense. You can't outscore everybody, especially in a playoff setting. So I would like that. I mean, they're trying to shop Buddy Hield, so maybe they can make something work there.
Maybe healed a couple first for Siakam.
Yeah,
maybe even less.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I would say that's a pretty good one. But we can get to the NFL side of things. Did y'all want to start with AFC or NFC?
I like to start with the NFC.
We can start with the NFC.
I think the AFC has a little more spice to be talking about.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So we can start with the NFC Wildcard picture. Let's start with the 2 versus 7. You have the Dallas Cowboys hosting the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay, youngest recorded team to make the playoffs. So I think you probably won't get it. Matt LaFleur needs his flowers. I'm pretty sure I said he was winning Coach of the Year. I have to find the awards, but I think that was my preseason pick.
You mean Matt LaFleur?
LaFleurist. But Matt LaFleur,
Mike Flores?
Oh yeah, Mike Flores. Yeah, Lamar is grilling him. But yeah, Matt LaFleur needs his flowers. I said he'd be Coach of the Year before the year. Probably not gonna happen, but I still think they had an incredible season. Jordan Love making the playoffs in his first year as a starter is like huge for his growth. Obviously, the 5th-year option is gonna pay off now. You don't got to pay him this offseason, but maybe you can get ahead of the curve. Just great job for them. I'm hyping all this up because they're going to get destroyed this coming weekend. They're going to go down to Dallas where they haven't lost all year. And Dak Prescott, he licking his chops when he sees somebody with a worse record than his Cowboys. He's licking his chops against that Joe
Barry.
Yeah, I was about to say Joe Brady. Joe Barry. Dak Prescott's going to be licking his chops against his defense. I expect them to be able to throw all day. Not going to let up on that end of the field. I see Dallas like really handing it to these guys. But there's nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, Green Bay had a great season in my opinion. Danny, what did you think about the 2v7 matchup in the
Green
NFC?
Bay? It's very interesting.
You said Packers Green Bay.
I mean, Packers Cowboys.
Yeah.
Very interesting. The Packers, after that Panthers game where they allowed 30 points to the worst offense in the NFL, somehow they had a worse offense than the Steelers during that Matt Canada stretch. Don't ask how. But the Packers allowed 10 to 9 points against the Vikings and the Bears. And the Bears have something to prove. So I think the Packers are starting to figure it out defensively. Barry might not be as bad as we thought. And Jair Alexander's coming back versus CeeDee Lamb. If there's a cornerback in the NFL who can slow down CeeDee Lamb, it's Jair Alexander. I am leaning the Cowboys slightly because of their talent levels just much higher. But I think this game's a lot closer than you imagine.
I would disagree about the Joe Barry thing. No, he's 100% as bad as he's made out to be. He just got to play Justin Fields. That's all. I would say because Bryce Young had a career day against the Packers. How do you not take advantage of it? Like, I don't know. And the score didn't indicate how close that game was. Like, the Packers moved the ball at will. Like, they just got whatever they wanted. But Chris, did you have anything to say about the Green Bay versus Dallas game at all?
I think it's about to be a spanking. second string quarterback Dak Prescott is going to go on a run and absolutely smoke the Packers. No, I'm kidding. I'm done ragging on Prescott. But yeah, I think the Cowboys roll though. I think they roll the Packers.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
I would say that's one of the games we're not really going to be saying too much about. Unfortunately,
I think it's one of the
Next one.
games that I care least about this weekend, though.
yeah, I'm going to be watching. I like Dak. I like Jordan Love. Those are two of my guys. I'll be watching, but I definitely, it's whatever. I kind of know the outcome. Next game, though, however, I'm going to pitch it to Danny. I feel like he's really invested in this one. 6 seed Los Angeles Rams and Matt Stafford heading back to his old home. 3 seed Detroit Lions, and Jared Goff will get to face his whole team as well. So I want you to take the floor. Give me your thoughts.
The big trade everyone was talking about a few years ago comes full circle. Dan Campbell, Sean McVay, who will get the win? I'm going to go with the Los Angeles Rams, and here's why. Who's been here before, and who knows how to get it done? What team has Aaron Donald? What team doesn't have Aaron Donald? What team has Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, and Puka Nacua, who will dice apart a Swiss cheese defense that the Detroit Lions have had the last 2 years? Yeah, I'm going with the Los Angeles Rams to get it done here in a big upset fashion for the Lions' first playoff game in Ford Field. Is it ever?
I don't think ever.
And
I think that
I think
historic Barry run against the Cowboys was a no. They hosted the Cowboys a couple years ago too. I'm pretty sure. Or no, that or I don't know.
This is This is
All
their
domes
first
look the same.
first playoff game ever at Ford Field. I think they drop. I think the Lions' future is very bright, but unfortunately, I think Stafford, his experience. If you watched any of these Rams games in the last few weeks, Stafford looks so good. His stats do not. It's like Lamar. His stats don't show how good he actually is.
Yeah,
Stafford
and
is actually the key of this offense, and without Stafford, this team is not good. I mean, you saw Wentz operate a pseudo offense, but it doesn't count.
they gave my boy 14 carries. It was good to see though. It was good to see Wentz ball out. Get to see Sam Darnold get his shot. I enjoyed that game a lot. I love Sean McVay putting the ball in Wentz's hands. Go for 2. Just take the lead. Figure it out. But back to starting guy. I agree 100% with everything you're saying. I will give Goff his credit. Goff got playoff experience. Goff's been to a Super Bowl. Whether that's him being a product of the system, he's been there though. He does know what it takes. He's got playoff wins on the road. He went to New Orleans and got a win. When whatever your thoughts are in that pass interference or not, he ended up getting a win there, and that's huge. I'm not counting Detroit out all the way. I do agree with you though. I'm gonna go with the Rams, but like Detroit winning wouldn't shock me at all. Not at all.
No, it wouldn't shock me at
If
all.
the Rams can't get elite pressure, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Reynolds,
JMO,
all these weapons. I don't think Sam Laporta is going to be playing, but I think Jared Goff has come to the point where he's an elite game manager. He can get the ball to his pieces, and they have a chance to dissect the Los Angeles defense for sure. I don't think I think Los Angeles has the goods to get the pressure on Goff and potentially make it a long day for him, get him beat up a little bit, make him make some big throws under pressure. As for the other side of the ball, the Lions defense hasn't really been that respectable all year. Like you just said, Matt Stafford is a legit surgeon with the football in his hands. Like if we're given definitions of thing, he's the elite game manager. Like he is a legit point guard out there. Just go get it to Cooper Kupp. Go get it to Puka. Go get it to
best
Tutu.
version of a Mason Rudolph variant. The best version ever.
There is no multiverse that revolves around Mason Rudolph. You know what that reminds me of? Marcus Morris Muse Twitter account. That's what that reminds me of. We're letting anybody get variants nowadays. Back to my point. Okay. Anyway, like I was saying, Matt Stafford, legit field general, like elite point guard, just getting the ball to his guys. And I think they'll be able to dissect the Detroit defense. I think that will probably be the main factor. If they have to get into a shootout, I think I like Los Angeles's offense against Detroit's defense specifically. I don't think I like Rams' offense as a whole better than Detroit's, but I think just because, I mean, Detroit's defense has just not been pretty. They've had moments of like good pressure, good secondary play, but overall, yeah, I think I'm going to take LA upset on the road. Matt Stafford getting a win in Detroit, just like we all predicted 10 years ago. I was like, Chris, you have any thoughts on Stafford and Goff and this probably the most highly anticipated game of the NFC Wildcard weekend?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to a mid-off, super mid-off with mid Goff and mid-Hugh Stafford. So not really looking for much, honestly. No, I'm just kidding. actually a little interested in this game because I think I want to see how the young guys do for the Lions. I was really looking forward to see how Laporta performed in the playoffs, but looking for Jameer Gibbs, looking for Jamo, look for how they do in their first experience. And then one thing you said about Jared Goff is him being an elite game manager. He is, and I think in that sense, you get a lot of times that means get the ball to your playmakers, i.e. Brock Purdy. So in that sense, you're really able to, kind of take it out of your hands at that point and let the playmakers do what they do. I want to see if this Rams team has one more run in them, before it kind of starts to disintegrate and kind of be over with. Not saying they're going to just break up the team.
No, I mean, this is going to be one of their better shots in the near future, definitely.
Yeah, so I want to see how that goes. I'm interested. I can't really say who I'm leaning towards. I guess I'd lean towards the team with the best player in the game, and I'd say Aaron Donald's the best player in this game, so I lean towards the Rams winning.
I think you can make a good argument for Amon-Ra St. Brown, but
Same.
Aaron Donald is an elite disruptor, but I mean St. Brown, hell of a year. Like there might be an all-pro nod coming his way. Not sure. He might just get beat out by some of the best seasons this year.
He almost had 120 catches, right? Or like 117.
Something like that. Yeah, he was on one this year. The hell of a season by him. Yeah, hell of a season. If we have nothing else to say about this game, I guess
moving on to your Philadelphia Eagles, who will be going down to
my Baltimore Ravens don't play this weekend. So the 5th seeded Philadelphia Eagles will go to the 4th seed Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Danny, as an Eagles connoisseur and Baker Mayfield enthusiast, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of torn. I love to see Baker win, and I love to see Jalen Hurts win. So it's
something they both do very well.
The Battle of Oklahoma. Who will win?
Just missing Kyler Murray.
An old cowboy shootout.
Hey, we don't use that word around here. Do they hate the Cowboys as well? I don't know. Or they just hate Texas in general. I don't know.
But
what's a Sooner anyway?
Nonetheless, I think the Eagles played the Bucs earlier this year, and they will continue to do what they did then, is dominate the trenches. Brian Johnson, you're playing for your job, buddy. Call run plays, have Swift, have Gainwell, hell, have Rashad Penny power run the ball, and use A.J. Brown, use Smitty. I don't know if he's going to be back, but use those playmakers on play action and on these slice actions instead of doing these getting backed up and calling screens on 3rd and 15. The play calling is actually not bad. The plays that you're calling, it's the order of the plays that's going down, which is really.
Oh no, those plays are horrendous. Like 1,000%, these plays are bad.
Well, some of them are just
wide receiver screens to Gainwell, no drag or slant routes in the world, just deep shots, no intermediate stuff. I don't know. He's limiting himself too. I don't know if he's limiting himself or maybe Sirianni's limiting himself, but like it's like the dude has like a rookie mode playbook. But no, I definitely get what you're saying. It sounds as simple as just get your playmakers the ball, but
ask Madden.
Yeah, no, for real. Ask Madden. Ask Nick what you do.
But no, I think the last time the Eagles called a good game was the game that we were at.
play calling.
Play calling, the Eagles.
They still had some stinkers there. You remember that third and what was it? It was like a third and something near the goal line, and we called a quarterback draw. It was so bad.
Oh, you were so mad. I remember that. You were so.
Yeah, I was, because there is a time and place for QB draw. And that time is when you set up the run. So you set up man on the outside. So the middle of the field is nothing but Jalen Hurts, Jason Kelsey, and some sorry ass defender in the middle. But yeah, those days are behind us.
Well, here's what I got to say about the Eagles and the Buccaneers. The main issue is the Eagles are 0-2 in their last 2 playoff games against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The first one coming in Jalen Hurts' first playoff appearance.
Ooh, that might be the worst game of his career.
Probably the worst game of his career. And his Tampa Bay defense has been looking better and better over the past 5 weeks. So it's going to be a close one. I'm still taking Eagles 27-20.
Okay. Very generous. You think they're putting up 27 points. Thank you. Chris, did you have anything to say, or did you want me to go first?
I want you to go first.
Okay, so the Buccaneers, after the hot start they had to December, have not looked as hot offensively. I can say that. But if there's
not at all.
there's any defense that a struggling quarterback is looking to break out of his slump, look no further than Sean Desai's Philadelphia Eagles, where we have old corners, no middle linebackers, the most overhyped safety duo in the NFL, and a defensive line that does not get pressure. So I think Baker will have – this is a good opportunity for him to have like a really good bounce back game after the past 2 weeks. I know last week he was dealing with the ankle injury, but even so, still just wasn't insanely accurate, just wasn't insanely, playing to that hot start he had. Like that game against Green Bay, he just wasn't up to that level. However, for the Eagles offense, this is a Buccaneer defense that has been respectable, I would say, in the last month. This is one that you can't look over. For some reason, they're 3-point favorites, but you shouldn't be, to be quite honest. I think the Eagles offense, like you said, hopefully they run the ball, use all of your backs, use your backs in the pass game, get your backs lined up with these linebackers who can't cover, like 100% can't cover. Just expand the usage of the backs. Get Swift more involved. Penny was active last week. That would be good for the power run game. Get Gainwell involved in the pass game. He's a good pass blocker as well. He's versatile. He can chip and come out to the flat. And I can't believe for like the 5th straight week that me and Danny have to say this, but like get the ball in the hands of Devontae Smith and AJ Brown over the middle in a rhythm. Because when these guys get the ball in their hands, they're not really easy to bring down. Smitty maybe, but AJ Brown's not an easy tackle, man. Just get him in stride, get him the ball.
Slant. Ready?
Yeah.
Call slant out.
Yeah, it's ironic because AJ Brown got hurt because they threw a slant, he caught it, fumbled, and got rolled up on. But don't stop. That shouldn't stop you from calling it, man. Like you got the all-stars. And to be quite honest, Jalen Hurts just got to hang in the pocket more. There's too many times where he decides to roll out instead of step up. It's part of being a young quarterback. It's fine. Like he's still growing. It's fine, but a little, faster than slow, I have the Eagles winning, knock on wood. I have the Eagles winning like 20-17 and a mad, ugly one. I don't expect much from this Eagles team. If they go one and done, I'm entirely not shocked. This defense is, I would 100% say, the worst in the league as it is right now. And their offense, I can't believe that they're even a top 10 offense. This is just not the same team that I saw against the Bills, against the Dolphins.
What happened to the team they love?
What happened to the game I love? But I'll say this. Last time they played the Bucs, the Eagles had 200 yards on the ground. Find out what works. You know what works. It's DeAndre Swift. So, Yeah. Chris, to wrap up our NFC Wildcard, any thoughts on Eagles, Buccaneers?
There's a reason why I wanted you to go first, Tom, because mine is going to be very short. There is no way, shape, form, size, move, or even vision that I'm going to pick Baker Mayfield in the game over Jalen Hurts. It's just not happening. I just won't do it. I don't care. The universe won't let me do it because I will not let it happen. And on top of that, I think the Eagles need one. Y'all know me, I'm a narrative guy. The Eagles need one of those games where they go up there and spank the Buccaneers 27-3. And if there's anybody who can give you a motivational quote, it's Jalen Hurts. So I know you're gonna have people prepared. I can tell you that. They're gonna have people prepared. And if they're gonna go out, I think they're gonna go out and I think they're gonna roll the Buccaneers. So I don't think the Buccaneers are that good. I think they had a couple flashes during the year, but I don't think they're that good. So I think the Eagles are gonna hopefully get back on track against them so we can have a Birds Bowl. But yeah, I think the Eagles win.
We'll see what happens, man. I can see them winning this week, but if how it plays out, our NFC wild card would be Dallas hosting Philadelphia, and then the Rams going up to San Francisco to play the Niners. So we would have 2 divisional games in the divisional round. It's almost like what it was made for. But yeah, nonetheless, we can move on to the AFC wild card round. I would say if we want to do the same order, it'll be
the same order.
7th seeded, same order, 7th seed Pittsburgh Steelers going up to 2nd seed Buffalo Bills. And as those watching might see the bias, Danny might be in bias with the Steelers hat. Just let him hear him out for a second. Go ahead, Danny.
Hats
He
off
took the hat off
for this part.
Yeah, he's got to look the non-biased part.
We're not looking at any biased parts. So the last time that the Pittsburgh Steelers were out playing the Buffalo Bills, it was preseason, and Jalen Warren broke for a 75-yard touchdown run.
Oh, we got preseason clips. We're in the gutter.
This is starting offense versus starting defense. The whole entire first teams were out there for the first 3 drives. Josh Allen went 3 drives, 3 straight punts, and the Steelers went touchdown, 1 play touchdown, 1 play touchdown. If anything is similar, this Steelers game is going to be in the snow. It's going to be a power game. Like, Allen might not be able to throw like you expect him to. Gabe Davis is going to be out. My brain tells me to lean the Bills, but if they can't get their power run game going against a stout Pittsburgh defense, and even without TJ Watt, we have a TJ Watt clone in Nick Herbig.
If TJ is that replaceable, there's no way he's defensive player of the year, right? Just saying. All I'm saying is if you think you can just lose TJ Watt and your defense won't miss a beat, don't ever call him defensive player of the year. So that's just me. Chris, if you want to, or Danny, if you weren't done, but
I think you need people to step up to win the game. I think it's going to be a very close game in the snow. The last time the Steelers played in Buffalo in a snow game, Le'Veon Bell had 250 yards.
Did you just say Le'Veon Bell?
That's the last time they played in a snow game.
Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
Le'Veon Bell.
Najee Harris is a very, very good running back. In this
Jets legend Le'Veon Bell.
Okay, my first point was that you were talking about Le'Veon Bell, who has not played for the Steelers since I was in middle school.
That's the last time they played in a snow game in Buffalo.
Second, you did not just compare Najee Harris to Le'Veon Bell. No way. Najee's good, man. He's good. I give him his credit. He had a great year. Him and Jalen Warren, one of the premier running back duos this league got to offer. There is no way in hell you just compared him to Le'Veon Bell.
He's nothing close to Le'Veon Bell.
All right,
Le'Veon Bell was special. Le'Veon Bell was special. But I'm going to pick Steelers 23-20, getting it done in the snow.
Okay, so me personally, I hold a little more value about TJ Watt than you do, which is a little weird. But with TJ out, I can't see the Steelers holding the Bills down forever. in an aspect that, like, okay, they could probably get some 3-and-outs. They could probably force some turnovers. You still got Minka back there. You still have Nate Herbig. You still have Alex Highsmith. But holding down the Bills forever is tough. Yeah, they're not going to have Gabe Davis. I'm not really a big Gabe Davis guy anyway. So I'm, of course, very interested to see the matchup of Joey Porter and Stephon Diggs. And Joey Porter will be battle tested. I'm going to tell you that. I think with no Gabe Davis, Josh Allen is, of course, going to be looking for his guy, Stephon Diggs. And I would say on defense, I mean, that safety duo they've been looking youthful lately. They've held a pretty dynamic Miami offense twice now. Injuries or not, have held them down. There's not too much film on Mason Rudolph to really go off of, but I think if you can land some pressure, if you could throw him some stuff,
he's getting the ball out super quick. Is a lot of problem with that. He was 18 of 20 with one of his incompletions being a deep shot to Deontay Johnson. So 18 of 19 essentially.
Last week
in the rain.
That's very impressive. I would say that's very, very impressive. But like you just said, a guy who gets the ball out fast, that's another guy they literally just dealt with who, with all due respect, a little bit better than Mason Rudolph.
Yeah, he
so
is. A lot better.
If they were able to disturb one of the best RPO quarterbacks in the league into a Tagovailoa, I think they'll be able to do the same thing to Mason Rudolph. I do have the Bills winning, not as big as a lot of people make it seem. I got them winning 21 to 14, 21-17, something like that. I just think the Steelers will probably have a rough time getting the ball downfield, but I don't see the Bills holding up super explosives on the Pittsburgh defense. But if TJ Watt was playing in this game, maybe I have to make another evaluation on it, but he's not going to be playing this week.
I go as far as to say I like our skill positions better than the Bills' skills.
The wide receiver group is better.
I like our tight end better too.
Yeah, but Stephon Diggs is he's a one-of-one type of guy.
Yeah, he is one-of-one. I mean, if Pickens has his one-of-one type of game, it's all it takes, man.
Yeah, that could be the difference. A play could be the difference. And Chris, thoughts, if any at all?
Two teams you probably hate and don't want to see either of them. So
I don't mind the Steelers. I don't like the Bills. I don't mind the Steelers though, and it's crazy I don't mind the Steelers, but
that's weird because like every other Ravens fan and every other Steelers fan hate each other. But like I appreciate the Ravens and you appreciate Mike Tomlin's black magic.
And I appreciate the Steelers, and I appreciate TJ Watt, the best player outside. Well, my favorite player outside Lamar Jackson. But outside of that, I don't trust Josh Allen, bro. I don't. And I also don't see what everybody else sees in him. But also, I could be blind in both eyes because I also said the same thing, not seeing what people seeing Caleb Williams. So take that with a grain of salt. But I don't trust Josh Allen. And I think what you guys talked about the most is most important. Him finding Diggs is going to be important. And they have not been on the same page. Well, actually, not been on the same. They haven't really connected for like a ton of yardage, a ton of points in the last bunch of weeks, actually. And I think if they can't do that, they can't get on target. I think the Steelers can win this game. I think it's close regardless, just because of the Bills' big playmaking ability, just for them to be able to go take a big shot and make one every once in a while. I think that is what's going to keep the game close. But I think what Danny said also is really important. Like if they can limit turnovers, if the Steelers can limit turnovers and Mason Rudolph can get the ball out quick, continually do that, I think they have a really good chance to win. Because like I said, I don't trust the Bills. I feel like they're battle tested, maybe, but I just don't trust them in this setting. And I think a gritty team like the Steelers, this would be the game they can win 13-10. A random day out there where it's a low scoring game and they can keep it low scoring. So I'm gonna go with the Steelers on this one just because I don't trust the Bills.
My opposition to one of those last statements. Steelers being a gritty team, I think Buffalo is just as gritty. You are a 6-6 team. You have Super Bowl aspirations, 6-6 teams. You get kicked in the mouth. You just lost on the road in Philadelphia in a game you had won. You were up 10 in the fourth quarter. But they didn't know Jalen Hurts like I know Jalen Hurts. But regardless, you're 6-6. You've already lost, 4, 5? You've already lost, 4 or 5 one-possession games? Well, how did Buffalo respond? We said, no, we're going to win 5 straight. We're going to find ways to win. We're going to find ways to get it done. Josh Allen, you don't got to be hero ball every game. We're going to rely on James Cook. Defense, yeah, we don't got Matt Milano. We don't got Trey White. We're going to find a way. I think them, just as much as any other team in the league this year, has found a way to win.
The Bills.
But yeah, they got one more in them. I think they got at least one more in them, and then we could talk next week, depending on who they're playing. But this will be a lot better game than I think people are going to give it credit for. I believe so. Josh Allen is prone to bad games. That's 100% true.
Especially in the snow. I mean, he lost to Joe Burrow 27-10 last year.
Yeah, it was bad. He just couldn't get it going. Before we move on, quick note when you said you don't see something about Caleb Williams. I don't blame you because you don't. Me too. Like, I don't really watch that much college football. I kind of just wait till recruiting comes around and then we chat about it. When we start talking about our favorite QB prospects, man, and we all start to look at the film, we all start to look at the notes. I'm gonna let y'all know now. This is gonna be the Caleb Williams, Drake May fan girl central. Chris is gonna be included in that. I'm gonna make sure of it. I will make sure he sees the light on those two. He might not like Josh Allen, and Drake May is an actual clone of him, but
literally,
I will make sure he sees the light. I'll
So
make sure.
who Jaden Daniels a clone of? Because I like him.
Danny says Lamar.
He's like Lamar's
101. When I say 101, that means like, bro, you're one of one. There's no one like you.
His play style, like Jaden Daniels is like a mix between Lamar and Kyler's play style.
I like Kyler.
I like
Kyler. I'd have to look at his film a little more because I also want to look at some of his ASU film. It's kind of like irrelevant at this point.
His play style is Kyler, but his skill set is not Kyler.
Huh?
And my thing was,
I get what you mean, but like,
when I seen him this year on like just randomly turning on games and seeing LSU on, like I was just like, he looks dynamic, and that's one thing I can't say about Caleb Williams. I think Caleb Williams is the most dynamic college player for sure. Because every time I see him on film, I think what you said earlier, Tone, is like he's out of structure, in structure, like he's great regardless, and I do see that. It's just I've seen that a couple times with a couple people. It's just like they just didn't work out. But I'm not gonna try to throw it on.
How do I put it this way? Nobody in college has looked as Mahomey as Caleb Williams has. Like, I mean that with complete unironic, no sarcasm. Like, he just looks Mahomey. And I currently think when you talk about, like I was saying this earlier, like if you put Justin Fields in this, put Ohio State Justin Fields in this draft class as a prospect, I personally think he would probably be behind May. But he would for sure be 3, in my opinion. But
I agree.
I'm trying to block out what I know about Fields now. Because maybe Jaden Daniels will have a better NFL turnout than Fields did. Maybe he'll be drafted to a better situation. But that's for draft time.
Jaden Daniels, every time I watched him this year, he is getting killed. Dude, he gets outside the pocket and gets lit up. He needs to learn how to slide.
Yes. We'll talk about draft QBs another time. Sorry to waste y'all time. Let's move 6-seeded Miami Dolphins to the 3-seed Kansas City Chiefs. Tyreek Hill, you've got what you asked for. You're going to Arrowhead. You're going to play your old best friend in Patrick Mahomes.
His Peely is true enemy Peely. Peely Mahomes.
I actually wanted to start with this one. We know back the Miami lost the Germany game. I'm looking at this game. I'm looking at Kansas City, who's find themselves in a situation very similar to the team they played in the Super Bowl, the team they beat in the Super Bowl last year, the Philadelphia Eagles. They're on a skid a little bit. They're not looking too hot. They don't really have a number one target. Travis Kelce hasn't looked the same. And Kansas City, just like as much as anyone else, for most part of the year, has found a way to win. And I think they'll find a way to win this one as well. Chris Jones ain't fall off. Chris Jones still doing his thing. So I expect him and that defense with a week of rest, of course, because they didn't start their starters this week. Got rest. I think they're going to get after Tua, get him off the first read, just like the Bills did, make him one-dimensional. And I'm not sure if Jalen Waddle's playing. I'm not sure. If he is, though, that is obviously a threat. It's obviously something you have to game plan for. But I think I like Kansas City's defense to get Tua off his mark. I think if anybody knows how to defend Miami or defend Tyreek Hill, it's Kansas City. He did not have his hottest game against them last time. But you know who did? Raheem Mostert. So that's something they'll also have to keep an eye on. As for the Chiefs offense, I mean, well, is Jalen Ramsey's going to be guarding Rashee Rice? I mean, that's how like unfair it is just in the Kansas City wide receiver room. Rely on Pacheco. Get Jet more involved.
They might put Ramsey on Kelsey. We've seen it before in Jacksonville.
Oh yeah. My fault. I was like Ramsey's guarded Gronk before, so
yeah, that's what I said.
There's nothing. Gronk, so. There's nothing that Ramsey will turn down. He will guard the absolute best, even at this age, even after the knee surgeries. I will take Kansas City in a low-scoring game, though. It's going to be some ugly offense from both sides. It's going to look very similar to the Miami-Buffalo game that we just saw, in my opinion. I'm going to take Kansas City. I have very awkwardly like 17-12.
That's a very unique score.
Yes. It's not a scoregami for sure, but it's weird.
It's definitely a weird game. McDaniels is going to get tricky or something, go for 2 or whatever.
That's what he's going to get a little Mahomey.
I'm with you there. I think Patrick Mahomes is still a quarterback on the field, and the Chiefs defense is very, very. They're battle tough. I mean, we've seen what they did last year in the playoffs. We saw what they've endured. They've been through all this. Mahomes knows who to find in the playoffs. I mean, he finds a way to win games. He's simply the best because he does that. I hate to say like winning is not a QB stat, but Mahomes, winning is a QB stat. Same thing with Lamar. Lamar is one of the most winning quarterbacks in the league because winning is sort of a QB stat when you impact the game like that. Yeah. And I think Mahomes is going to bring that same level of impact to this game on Saturday. And I think the Chiefs get it done 24-17.
Yeah, I would say another thing when you put like when you say finding someone in the playoffs, MVS had like a damn near like he had like a really good game against Kansas City last year. Like he just made Juju a hero in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? He knows how to create.
Kadarius Toney became relevant in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, mainly for his punt return, but he also had a touchdown. He made Sky Moore relevant in the Super Bowl. I mean, that's what winners do, man. That is what winners do. To combine it with the second best defense in terms of yards allowed. Yeah, I'm going to take Kansas City. He's also second in sacks as well, behind Chris's Ravens and my Ravens. But yeah. Chris, thoughts on the Ravens arch nemesis?
I want to pick the Dolphins so bad. I want to pick them so bad. But I cannot bring myself to bet against Patrick Mahomes. I didn't bet against Mahomes when he didn't have a great defense. Now his defense is better than the offense. It's like, how do I say, how do I bet against that? But if there was any time to do so, I'm going to do it this weekend because the Chiefs have looked poop the last couple of weeks. But they found ways to win, I think, was what you said. They found ways to win. I think that does matter. But I think the biggest reason why the Chiefs have been great outside of Patrick Mahomes is Travis Kelce. Like, he's like the thing that orbits around, especially when he's in the passing game. And him not being all the way right. Not saying he can't turn around this game, because he definitely could. I think the Dolphins, the part of the defense that's still pretty decently intact is to defend the pass, I think, in my opinion. So I think that's why I would give it the edge. But I think I would give the Dolphins the edge 2017. I don't want to bet against Pat Mahomes. I'm sure it's going to bite me in the butt. But, yeah, I'll go Dolphins 2017.
All right,
I'm not mad at that.
I'm going to tell you one thing. Chiefs versus Jaguars 2023 playoff game. I'm going to let you guess Travis Kelce's stat line and Mahomes' stat line.
Didn't Mahomes have to leave that game for a little bit? Or was it just like a drive or something?
It wasn't that long.
I don't know. Mahomes, 327, 3 touchdowns. Travis Kelce, 6 catches, 107 yards.
Final score was 27-20. Mahomes had 195 yards and 2 touchdowns. Both of those touchdowns went to Travis Kelce. He had 14 catches for 98 yards.
Oh, my God.
So yes,
14 catches. Yeah.
no
Safe
matter
to say,
what,
you know where he's going.
Mahomes will find his guy in the playoffs. No matter. Last year he had Juju and he had other guys too. So as far as that goes, he's going to find Kelsey early, often, and I think the Chiefs can unleash their true game plan for Kelsey the same way the Eagles are going to try to do with a run game.
Yeah, I think that's fair. So now we move on to what might be the best game of the weekend.
Hell
The
yeah.
best game of the weekend. You have the 4th-seeded Houston Texans hosting the 5th-seeded Cleveland Browns. CJ Stroud, D'Amico Ryans, both, the rookie head coach combo who, are going up against another coach of the year candidate, Kevin Stefanski. You got Joe Flacco, who's been balling these last couple of weeks, just straight gunslinging. I want to before we start, I want to give Danny some credit. And Chris credit. Chris said, regardless of what happens this year, the main thing is seeing what happens with Nico Collins, what's going to happen with Tank Dell, how is CJ Stroud going to look, and he predicted it would be good, and it's been good. He didn't know if the wins would come with it. Danny, well, I give him credit. Their line was, I think, 5.5. Danny said he could actually see them winning 7 or 8 games. Now, mind you, surpassed those expectations as well. But he saw a little bit of light that I did not see because my analysis on them was, all right, fellas, let's go out there and have fun. So that was my analysis on the Houston Texans. I'm not going to lie. I thought CJ Stroud was in the worst situation of any of the rookie quarterbacks. I actually believe that. I didn't like the defensive head coach with the rookie quarterback combo. But they proved me wrong, and I'm glad I jumped ship very early. Like week 2, I was like, no, I'm on the bandwagon before it's too late. If that's too late to some of y'all, then I'm sorry, but I'm here.
If I'm not mistaken, D'Amico was my coach of the year candidate, correct?
I believe so. Now, because we asked, it was like, can you get it and not make the playoffs? And we'll have to look back at what we said exactly. But yeah, so we both
It's
had
got to
some
be
pretty good.
him or Stefanski at this point.
I wonder, Chris, do you remember off the top of your head who your coach of the year candidate was? Yeah, I need to find. I need to find the papers, but actually, I'll say. In the meantime, Danny, did you just want to talk about what you think we could get out of this game? Because last time they played, CJ Stroud was not present. So,
yeah, I think that CJ Stroud versus Joe Flacco is a very, very hilarious matchup. You have one of the oldest guys in the NFL coming off his couch, and then you have a guy who lost in the college football semifinals on a missed field goal as New Year ball dropped in a heartbreak last year, just a year ago, and now he's playing in a NFL playoff game against a legend in Joe Flacco. So you got an electric Texans offense. I mean, I think they try to run the ball a lot, but I think they should try to switch to the pass more because it's more effective for them against this Cleveland Browns defense that Jim Schwartz has. Oh my! If Jim Schwartz was the Eagles' defensive coordinator, Eagles would be Super Bowl favorites. But he's the Browns coordinator, and the Browns have arguably the best defense in the NFL. It scares a lot of people. I mean, it scares Chris every time the Browns play the Ravens. It scares me every time the Steelers play the Browns. And it sure scares every NFL fan because your quarterback might get killed. Myles Garrett's on the field. Myles Garrett is on the field.
yeah.
Oh,
So, with that being said, I am going to lean the side of the rookie here, actually, and CJ Stroud getting it done at home against the Browns. I think I like their offense a little too much for the Browns defense, especially if Flacco turns the ball over one too many times, especially they get a red zone pick. You let Stroud punch that in, they're going to go up 14-7 early or something. It's going to be hard for them to come back.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Yeah, see with the Browns, they've just made every quarterback's life hell. I don't know if yeah, and I don't know if CJ Stroud is, I don't think he's safe from that, to be quite honest. And the Houston defense, while they have stepped it up at times this year, I do like the mentality of the Browns offense. It's just like, we're going to go for it all. We're going to go deep to Amari. We're going to find David Njoku. We're gonna get the balls in the hands of get the ball to our playmakers. And it's just
Let 'em ball out.
something yeah. And as simple as that sounds, that's been the drive all year, and they couldn't do it. Like PJ Walker couldn't do it, DTR couldn't do it, Deshaun Watson did it once. Like, and Joe Flacco's just found a way to do it. Now, what also might scare me is that Houston, still a defensive-minded coach over there. They still have they're coming off a really good defensive effort against a good offense in the Colts. I think Houston might be able to like we talked about this a couple weeks ago. What if Joe Flacco's all those shots he's taken, all those chances he's taken, they turn into turnovers instead of touchdowns? That's been his whole thing since he's become the starting quarterback for the Browns. I think off of that, I think with the play style that the Browns have and the respect I've started to develop for Houston's defense, I think Houston's defense can hang in there long enough for Stroud to find an answer to this Cleveland defense. And I think I'm going to take the rookie to get a win in round one. I think I'm going to side with Houston here. Cleveland winning would not shock me whatsoever. But I think Houston has a vision to beating the Browns, create turnovers. My CJ Stroud is not a turnover-prone quarterback, like at all. So the Cleveland Browns being number one in the league in turnovers doesn't really scare me that much because I got a quarterback, I got a guy who's not going to turn the ball over. He has some of the best pocket presence in the NFL, one of the brightest minds in the NFL, even as a rookie. I think I'm going to go Houston. I'm no Cleveland hater. I love their story. If they win and they get to, as we have it chalked up right now, well, we're kind of split on the 2-7 game, but the way I have it drawn up right now, they'd be going up to Cleveland will be going up to Baltimore. That'd be a banger. But Houston going up to Baltimore, that's also a banger. So,
I mean,
yeah.
the way me and Chris have it is Baltimore versus
Steelers
Pittsburgh.
going up to y'all are
That's a banger.
conspiracizing against me. That's what I think.
That's a banger. And then Chiefs at Arrowhead hosting the Texans in a rematch of Mahomes versus the Texans. Remember last time that happens, he won a Super Bowl. He won his first.
It's always
Super Bowl.
something like that with you. Whoa, when this happened, then this happened. Last time the Eagles lost to the Bucs in the playoffs, Tom Brady was on the football field. So
true. He's a good football player.
The last time the Eagles played the Bucs in the playoffs, Matt Stafford won the Super Bowl. So guess what?
One of the football players ever.
True. Chris, any thoughts on your boy CJ Stroud playing Joe Cool?
Left, do it right. I'm going with CJ Stroud every time. I'm going with
copyright. Copyright infringement.
Yeah, sorry. I'm going with CJ Stroud, man. He's just on a magical run right now, and I think this might be a pick for the fields. I seen D'Amico Ryans in the tunnel getting emotional. I seen my boy CJ Stroud gassed to come up there, and that could mean that they're going to get blown out because you know how that happens. You shed a few tears, go out there, get whooped up. But I think the Texans can keep this train rolling. I really like what I've seen from them. Just as a whole, I think what you said is the most important. Their defense has looked a lot better over recent weeks, and I think the Texans are going to ride the wave they've been on all year and pull at least get one playoff win. I think this is.
I like it.
Yeah.
Browns are hungry, man.
Yeah.
In the most ironic setting ever.
Is a good game.
A Lions-Browns Super Bowl would be hilarious.
Bro, someone's got to win. Someone has to win. So
imagine they go to like 6 OT.
I would say if we had so let's say we had championship games of like Browns, Bills, and then on the other side we'll have Lions and everyone else has won a Super Bowl. We'll go with Dallas for the irony. Then out of Detroit, Houston, or Cleveland, Buffalo, Detroit, someone's got to win a Super Bowl at that point. So
Dallas would wind up playing Detroit if they both win. But
true. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, I would say I don't think we have anything else. We wrapped up all the games, so that is how we see AFC Wildcard and NFC Wildcard weekends panning out.
We will be getting our Summit savings to you guys in a parlay this weekend, soon to come.
Yeah, we'll probably do same thing we did a couple weeks back: a Saturday, a Sunday, and then a Monday.
Chris, do you want to
God bless
Sunday?
whoever we decide. God bless whoever we decide to pick that wild card Monday game.
I have a new.
You're screwed, buddy.
I probably made it.
I have a new way that we should do. We each pick 2 legs from each day.
You think so? Instead of us, I would say because putting a whole parlay in your hands is kind of gross. So
mine's gonna be wrong. Whatever I pick, everybody y'all listening, choose the opposite. So if I say somebody's gonna win, say they're gonna lose by 21 because.
Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Like we said before, keep liking, keep subscribing. If you're listening to this on audio platforms, leave us a 5-star rating. Give this episode download. Make sure you follow the podcast on your favorite platform. You guys have anything to say before we get on out of here?
Yes.
Nah.
I do. Just one thing. All our loyal listeners, viewers, and everybody else out there, if y'all happen to see a petition to fire Darvin Ham, don't you pass it. Sign it. I want you to sign it twice. Sign it with your friend's name. Sign it to get him out of town. Thank you. That's all I needed.
Yeah, don't keep your hands in your pockets. Don't do what he would.
We're cheering for a snowy football game in Pittsburgh, in Buffalo, on Saturday and Sunday.
I think it's supposed to snow here too in Dallas. So I wonder,
snowing in Dallas. We see
how are y'all homes gonna hold up,
bro? Crazy thing. I'll make it quick. So I'm way at the end. I've been in Dallas for 6 years now, and I've experienced a couple snowy winters, Dallas style. And me being from Chicago, I've sat through some winters. It was one winter here. It was comparable to a winter in Chicago. It was kind of cold. I think it got not temperature wise, but we don't have the same amount of salt trucks and stuff like that to get the roads good. So if it does snow, so if it does snow, it rains a little bit, everything's screwed. I think it was maybe 3 inches of snow on the ground, but it was 19 degrees, and it's that's doable, if you've lived in cold states. But out here, people thought it was an apocalypse, bro. It was insane. It was insane. I couldn't imagine the Cowboys playing football in snow here. That'd be crazy.
Next, I hope it snows in Tampa and we get the ground game going and we destroy the Bucs, but that's not happening. But from AP New Freezer, Culture by Migos, and DC Comics, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll catch you guys next week.